Hey guys, what's up? Nachshon here. I create videos about how you can better yourself in life, both in the physical aspect, meaning how you can move better, and in the mental aspect, meaning how you can have better mindsets about your life and such. And today I want to react to Jordan Peterson's video about how you can spot real friends. Jordan is a really interesting person that I've been watching for a very long time. His insights are like very interesting, and his point of view is so different and like unique because he comes from the clinical psychologist point of view, and that's really interesting to see. And this whole journey of figuring out who your friends are is something that I think is really important for everyone who wants to better themselves, because you can't do everything in your life by your own, and being part of other groups of people is like very important, and knowing which people to choose to get into your life and who not to, and how to develop relationships it's something that I'm really fascinated by and want to even improve myself. So I wanted to see what he has to say. I've learned some things over the time that I've been alive and he obviously has some very interesting things to say as well. So yeah, let's react to it. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about friendships for a minute. Here's how you know if someone's your friend.
Right.
A, you can tell them bad news.
Yeah.
And they'll listen. They won't tell you why, you know, you're stupid and why that bad thing happened to you and how something worse happened to them once and, you know, derail the whole conversation.
Very true. So obviously it's fine if you want to laugh about something, right? Like that's how it is in my family, for example. Like if I tell them something bad happened to me, they'll just really talk shit to me and like have like a really funny banter. But I just know that they're really there for me, that they care about me and they're just joking and stuff, and I can really rely on them, so it's fine. So obviously joking can be okay in these situations, but in general, yeah, being able to tell bad news is really important, both in the relationship itself, meaning, hey, what you did to me wasn't cool, it made me feel like XYZ. That's important, but also being able to say, hey, something really bad just happened to me in my life and I need your help, or here's what happened to me. And if they can listen and support you, that's huge. That's, I would say, the biggest part of the puzzle of finding good friends is the ability to have these conversations. It's so important.
You can actually tell them bad news and they'll listen.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. And then this is a weirder thing. You can tell them good news.
No way.
And they'll help you celebrate. And that's a really good way of deciding who you should have around you, because if you have someone around you, you know, something good happens to you and you're kind of afraid to even admit it because, you know, God, something good happened to you. It's like that, you let that be known and it'll certainly be taken away. So, you know, you come out and you sort of tell someone half-heartedly that something good happened to you, and they give you a whack and then talk about, you know, the great thing that happened.
Like what he says now it's true, right? But I don't think that's the harder part to pay attention to, like to notice in someone. It's very easy to see if someone celebrates your wins, right? It's very easy. You can tell it right away. I think the harder thing to get in relationships is the ability to be there when bad things happen to you. That's really, like, I would say, the most valuable part of it. Obviously, having someone who you can celebrate with is amazing. It's very important, but the rare ability between these two is the one that I can support you and be there with you when you go through hard things in life. I would say, at least for me, that seems like the harder thing to find, and the thing that I appreciate a lot more.
Happened to them 3 years ago, or worse, the great thing that happened to someone that they knew 3 years ago. You know, it's like, go away from that person. They're not helpful to you.
Yeah.
And they're not helpful to themselves either.
Of course.
And so you want to surround yourself, you got to think about this. You got to surround yourself with people who want the best for the best part of you. You can hang around with weasels and losers that are trying to pull you down to justify the fact that they're spiraling downhill as well.
Yeah.
And you know, the upside of that is you don't have to have any responsibility, and you can all whine about how wretched life is. You know? So that's pretty attractive.
Yeah.
But I would say it's also a bad medium to long-term plan. And so,
but this really depends on what's important for you in life and what you call success, right? Because having loser friends, I don't know if it's like a very like general term. Like you can say, oh, people who don't make money, or people who don't deal with their fears all the time, or I don't know. I think it really depends on what you define success. That way you can define what losing means, and then you can define people you don't want to be around. That sounds right. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I don't know if I've ever been like really friends with anyone who really brought me, like when I was very, very young as a kid maybe, but like as a grown-up, I don't know if I have it in my life. Maybe I'm not aware of it and I'm just like telling that to myself, but I think it's super, super obvious to see that, at least for me. Let me know what you think, Ard. Was there any friend of yours in your life that always brought you down and you weren't aware of how bad that friend is, and your definition for friendship wasn't very good, so you didn't notice it? Like, did you have this and you didn't, like, how didn't you notice? Like, I'm really interested because I'm not sure how that works, but yeah, let's continue.
So it's acceptable and desirable to try to surround yourself with people who are facilitating your development. You know, and you might say, well, I've got people around, I know them well, you know, they're not doing that well, and they don't fit into that category. It's like, what's your point? What are you going to do with them exactly? If they'll listen and cooperate with you and move towards a better future, great. If they don't pay.
But that sounds like partners. It doesn't sound like friendships. Like partners in business or whatever would help facilitate something. I guess he means like facilitate your future in terms of not just money or professional success, but also emotional capabilities and mental abilities. Maybe he means that, and in that way, like, these people can help you. But I don't want to look so much at friendships as, oh, what are you exactly bringing to the table, and is it like enough for me, and am I satisfied with that, or do I need someone? I want someone who I can be myself with very easily without thinking too much and feeling like I'm getting recharged with energy when I'm with them. Like, it gives me something, but that thing, it's very hard to quantify it and say that's it. And yeah, I just have a problem with saying this specific thing is bad for friendship, this is good. It's not like that. And I don't want even my friendship to be, oh, I did this amount of good things for you, so you have to do an X amount of things for me as well, because we have to be, you know what I mean? It can't be too calculated. That's what I'm trying to say.
Any attention, and they keep doing the same damn things over and over, and they're not going anywhere, and it's painful, then maybe the proper thing to do is say, you just have your misery. I'll go off and have my life. And
right.
Maybe you'll wake up at some point in the future and think that's a better way of being.
Right.
Because just putting up with it is, well, they call that enabling, right? You put up with that sort of behavior, you're providing tacit consent for it, and even tacit approval. It's like, it's a bad idea. You have, I would say, both the right and the responsibility to surround yourself with people who are good for the best part of you.
Okay, so I agree. The sense that I'm getting from this video is that he's talking to people who are who find it very hard to say no to others, people pleasers. And I'm not saying that to mock anyone or to talk shit or anything like that. I'm just saying that because it seems like him saying, to me, it sounds so obvious, right? Like, don't be with people who aren't good for you, like people who hurt you or get you down or treat you like shit, obviously, you know. But I have met people in my life that that find it very, very hard to say no to people. The thing is though, like in Israel, our culture is like very direct, like very, very direct. Like, people get in your business all the time. So you have to know how to set boundaries, like from the get-go. You always have to know how to tell people, hey, no, I'm not cool with that, just fuck off, or and it's not as rude as it is, I would say, for other people. Like, whenever I meet Europeans or Americans, they're not used to like being as direct and being very clear about what you want. And I think in my culture, where I come from, it's a lot more clear. But again, I've met people who can't really do that, and I can completely understand that. So to them, obviously saying, hey, you can have your limits and you deserve to be with people who are good for you, that's really, really true. My definition, I would say, for friendships, good friendships, is that that person has to be someone I can rely on and lean on when I'm going through some hard times. I have to be able to say, like, to have rough conversations with them and have them stay, you know, not run away because it's inconvenient, it's not very comfortable. Like, real relationships aren't comfortable all the time, they're not always fun, but they are real and they are there, and there's like a meaning behind these relationships. And so that's one. Two is having connection. So there's something that you can connect with. I don't know, it's very hard to, it's kind of hard to explain it. It can be very different from person to person. And obviously you need to have fun, and fun can be very different things, right? It can be workout, you can both enjoy the same types of food, you can go out and watch movies together, whatever that is. But you have to have something that brings joy into your life by being with that person, or fulfills you in some way, or does good for you in a way. I think that these are like the three pillars that are very, very important to me when I'm looking for friendships. And I would say the hardest part to find is the part of someone that you can rely on. That's not easy. I think that in order to find people like that, you have to meet people who, I think what's so hard about meeting people like that is that you need someone who is also actively looking for it, because you actively have to spend energy and time into a relationship in order for a real one to be built. Because if you just meet someone casually somewhere and you both like have a good vibe and you connect and you, I don't know, invite that person to, hey, let's grab a beer, let's go to a club, let's sit and talk for coffee, like whatever. If that person isn't aware that he wants real friendships, it's kind of hard to move from that surface level relationship to a very deep level relationship. And to be honest, I have a lot to learn in that field as well. But I think looking for other people who also look for friendships, like really good ones, is really important. Yeah, these are my thoughts about this thing. Let me know what you think about it. How do you define good relationships? Is it by the hard times, the good times? Is it just the vibe? Is it anything, I would say, physical about these people? Like, how do you define them? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, because I'm struggling with it as well, right? It's not so easy to find people you can really develop a very deep relationship with. And by the way, you don't have to develop such deep relationships with everyone. It's fine. Yeah, so let me know down in the comments. If you're into bettering yourself as a person, both in the physical world and in the mental world, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video, don't forget to smash the like button. Anyway, have a good day and peace.